right, so today's video, we're going to be watching another quick play warrior game. Wait, it works. I guess the rank. I watch a quick play game and a rank game, and I decide where I think the rank will be. It's pretty fun. I have a good time with it. And this one goes, I joined Overwatch 2, maybe Season 5-ish. I briefly played Overwatch 1, but got busy playing other PvP games. I've played Valorant and Apex Legends, and even in these games, or those games, I consider myself a quick play warrior. I feel like I'm too unbothered to lock into video games seriously and have always enjoyed seeing the fun in games and rarely get tilted. Because of this, I often stay away from competitive modes as a whole, so I don't affect others trying to grind their ranks. I've been told I play better than my rank, but never take it seriously. So I would love to hear your opinion. I do play this game for pure funsies, but it never hurts to have some input on how I can be more useful as support. Who knows, maybe the series will have me wanting to play more comp. Enjoy. P.S. The editor really won't like a moment in this game. Okay, let's find out. So we'll start off with a quick play game, kind of get an idea. Obviously, this is in 6v6 open queue, so it's a little bit different, but I have the ability to... I play 6v6 from time to time now, so... And obviously, I played it for years prior in Overwatch 1. It's not the same, obviously, because it's not role queue, and... I mean, it used to be open queue, but let's be real here. This is definitely different than that one, too. Because you only can do max 2 tanks in open queue. Okay, so let's see. I mean, you didn't put yourself in a bad spot, so that's a good start. I will take that. Good sleep on Tracer. Now, the first thing I'm going to say to you here, even though that was a great sleep, please ping that. I know it's exciting when you get a sleep, but I also, there's two things that Anas do, including myself. Sometimes you'll sleep a target and you just get so excited that you'll stare at them and be like, look at the sleep that I did. In reality, if the other team's looking at you, they just see an Anas staring at somebody on the floor and you might get one shot or something. So just be careful on that sometimes. Also ping the person that you sleep, but great sleep though. I just, you know. Honor grenade would be good here in a second because you saw a few bubbles used. Don't mind the honor grenade. Good job. Solid positioning. Falling back to a good spot. This is what I mean by like resetting yourself, chat, with positioning. This is definitely a good way of positioning. Sorry, I'm trying my best. Here we go. Obviously try to be more accurate with that honor grenade there. I know you did hit the Zarya, but hitting the Hog there would also be really good. So, yeah, pretty obvious stuff out of me so far. But so far you're doing well. I mean, there's nothing really like super crazy right now that I'm too worried about outside of the things that I mentioned. So, okay, good start. Now this is the part where you probably need to adjust. Okay, so this is something that I've talked about in like comp reviews that I do sometimes. You have to adjust with your teammates. So I know that you want to sit back here because this spot was like good, and it looks like you're going to eventually readjust here. But don't let your teammates push up that far while you sit back, because sometimes people expect everybody to play in your line of sight and they're not going to. So always try to readjust to what your teammates are doing. You'll hear me talk about it sometimes where I say like, as your teammates readjust their position and so do you. And like if your teammates go play aggressive, like look at this, you can't heal that right now. Like no one's going to be healed here. So you need to, as your teammates move up, you also move up. So here's this fine spot right here. You can, if they really overdo it, you can rotate here and then back up this way, right? There's like a couple of ways, but you already had a delayed reaction to that, and I know you're making the adjustment now, but I want you to kind of keep up with that pace the whole time rather than have a little bit of that downtime of just chilling there. Again, you know, it won't be as much of an issue in, let's say, a quick play, but, you know, with the idea that you're going to be playing ranked and maybe even the possibility you play more of it, these are good habits to get yourself into. Nano in the Winston is fine there. That's pretty much one of the go-to nano targets in 6v6 usually. Actually, I say that, but not so much anymore. It used to be one of the go-to. But there's a lot of nano targets now, but then there used to be. Obviously a waste of a nano grenade, but you know that there. You're starting to move around a lot, you know, as you probably saw when I watched the game yesterday. This is why I always say get yourself in a good position the whole time, because you don't have to move around like this the whole time. That's why I always try to tell people that your aim will always be more consistent when you start to position yourself better, because then you can not have to move around the map and worry about 25 different things. You barely jump around? Oh, I mean, listen. I probably spam jump more than anybody, okay? But, like, I can still tell people that jumping around and doing that is not good, while also realizing that, yeah, I probably should jump less in Overwatch. It's a reminder to myself. This is fine. I mean, technically, if you jump like that, it's going to be easier for the Tracer to hit you. Just so you know. But if it works, it works. You are doing one thing with your honor grenades. Sometimes you just throw them randomly. Be more... Like, have more reason behind them. Looks like you're having some fun there. All right, yep. Now there's a Junkrat tire, so everybody's running. Now you... Honor grenade. Nice honor grenade. Don't look at your aim. We all have moments of aim where we miss. I mean, have you seen my aim the last couple days? It happens. I am happy I got my mouse finally again, though. Hopefully that will... Here we go. Nice sleep on the Tracer. And there you go. Good pulse pump. Yeah, so far it's been, like, fine. I mean, in 6v6 a lot of the time, too, one of the cool parts with supports, at least in my opinion, is I think you have... It sounds goofy, but, like, even though there's, like, 6 heroes rather than 5 on, like, each team, you have more room to work with because there's less likely of a chance they'll get onto the back line. In 5v5, it's a lot easier to get to that back line and make those aggressive plays. All right, here we go. I'm ready. All right. Try to purple the hog. Again, this is very, like... You're probably getting some very generic advice in this one, but honestly, you've been playing fairly well, so I'm just going to give some things that I see when I go there. But yeah, in, like, 6v6, you have just, like... It's less likely you get dove in the backline, while in 5v5, it's like that's the whole strategy is backline dives. So your survivability is, like, very interesting in this one, where you can get away with a lot more and be in the fight more. Or not get pressured as much, which is always really nice. So we'll see. But so far, yeah, I mean, you know where to go. You're putting yourself in good spots. Obviously, you know, in these situations, okay. That's one thing I want you to be wary of because, like, you tunnel vision, and I do this sometimes too, but, like, I've gotten better at it. You need to pay attention to the heroes in front of you. When Roadhog starts to kind of, like, taper towards you, there's a good chance the Roadhog is going to get to you. So the point I want to make here is don't stay there and wait for the hog to do that and hope they miss a hook or a play. Start to readjust your positioning so that way by the time the hog gets there, the hog goes, what the heck? Like one of the things that happens a lot whenever I play is that if somebody recognizes that I'm their target, they reposition, and by the time I get there, they're already gone. So you still might even survive this, but, like, it goes back to getting in good habits of, like, if that hog starts to make their way over there, you need to readjust your position. Otherwise, you're going to fall over to that hog sometimes. And there's, like, nothing your teammates can even do. Hog's one of those heroes that, like, even with, like, full pressure, can still just run around and kill people. Because you get so much damage reduction when you use your heal. It's very similar to, like, the block mechanic that, you know, some tanks have. Or even Vendetta. Where, like, if you don't, like... If you give a hog an opportunity just for a hook and shot, they could trade on you. You don't want to be traded on. Like, in Overwatch, getting traded on could be rough. You know, obviously, Vendetta has kind of shifted a little bit about trades. I know you can trade a little bit more now with Vendetta. I don't recommend trading. It's always good to survive and get out. Survivability is one of the, like, the largest and, like, key things in Overwatch, at least in my mindset, so. But you got to find a good balance. You don't want to play too safe. You can nano the Winston. I would wait till... Yeah, I was going to say, one thing I want to point out is, like, when you nano somebody, and I saw what you were doing there needs to be a little bit more, like, intent to the nano. That one seemed like you thought, like, oh, I need to save my Winston, but this goes back to what I was just talking about with, like, 6v6 in general. With 6v6 in general, you just have a lot... With the lesser HP pools, it's a lot easier to catch up on your heals. I don't know if anybody here has played 6v6. I don't know if you've noticed it's a little bit easier to keep your tanks healed, and you also get a little bit more L charge. In 5v5, it's actually pretty common to be able to fall behind on heals unless you use, like, heroes like Kiriko for a cleanse or, like, burst heals that you can do. Or, like, the combination of, like, a Wu Yang wave into, like, another heal from a main support. The point I'm making is that in 6v6, it's a little bit easier to be able to heal your tanks, so you don't have to waste your nano like that in those situations because the HP pool is a little bit less, right?
I appreciate it.
Yep. Well, yeah, in 6v6, and again, this is not like the exact, like, I guess, blueprint or the actuality fully, but I just think, I don't know if I made up a word there. But I don't know if this actually goes this way. It's like, you're not going to be able to DPS as much support because you have a lot more healing to do, but at the same time, you can still do that. It's just you'll find... I think it's more on the lines of, if you're somebody who likes to do more heal bot, right? Also, listen, the Tracer battle there, it happens. If you like to heal bot, I think 6v6 is definitely more welcome in for that, in comparison to 5v5, where sometimes you have to find more damage output, especially as you climb. Yeah, I mean, I obviously your position was. This goes back to you were all over the place there again. It's the usual. That happens. You just got to position yourself like and settle. You know. But truthfully, you had a pretty solid quick play game here, so I don't have like. There's not too much for me to go into there outside of like the things that we mentioned. So the next question here is, where do I think your rank is going to be when we go into the next one? This is a hard one for me, because naturally here I'm just gonna go with Plat, like Plat 3, because I feel like I know that's I don't even know if you're Plat. It's just I don't really know where you're going to rank based off of. It's hard to predict 6v6 ranks sometimes right now. So I'm gonna kind of put you like around the Plat 3 level, and again I don't even know if that's. I think you could be higher than that, but I'm just going based off of Ranks can be interesting sometimes with that. The previous games I've seen, so probably Plat 3, Plat 2, Plat 3, Plat 2. Position and solid, sleeps were pretty good. Aim obviously was fine. you're gonna miss shots. It happens. The only problem you really ran into was you just ran around a lot too much and you wasted some of your cooldowns. So that's the first one. All right, that's the first one. Let's go to the next one now and see if we can get a better idea. So Matt, you'd say Diamond. Yep, I'm giving myself a little bit of wiggle room because the first guess is kind of like up in the air sometimes, you know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm at with that one. I'm going to give you a general one, and then I try to fine-tune it on this one, because this one gives me a lot more kind of an idea. So this is going to be, for anybody, as we go in here, we're going to see Mercy, Ana, Kiriko, and Orisa. Yes, in 6v6, you can change to any role. So I don't know how you ended up on Orisa, but we'll find out. We'll find out. Okay, Mercy to start. It was a good res. This is PC, yes. Well, you have to remember, this series is called the Quickplay Warrior series. So for everybody like just joining us, this series is basically where we have players who don't play. You can take your pistol out there, by the way, if you want to do, unless you're trying to stagger D.Va, but I wouldn't recommend that with that HP. that was interesting. I would recommend just getting the kill on Baby D.Va there if you can. But basically, we watch players who mainly only play quick play, give them some feedback on their quick play game, but also they have to play ranked, and then I have to guess their ranked one. And maybe it introduces more quick play players to ranked, shows you that like quick play players do, sometimes they just don't have enough time for ranked, but they're still a very good player, things like that. Like there's a lot of different variations of this, so it's really cool to see. So far, you're doing everything basically fine here. You haven't had to do anything too extravagant. So far, the general consensus of your gameplay has been it's very solid. Like, it's nothing like overwhelmingly like, oh, you need to do a much better job of this. Like, even right there, I felt like your decision-making was perfect. You went in to save your teammate, and then rather than go for a res, which I see sometimes happen in ranks, you decided against the idea of the res and got out, survived, popped valk. That was a flawless play. Exactly what we want to do. Straight up, because, like, if you commit for the res there or you die there, this team fight isn't happening. Like, this team fight's over. So, like, it's been very solid across the board. You're struggling with movement there? I mean, movement's been, I mean, could it be better? Yes, but, like, it's been fine. Sometimes you don't need the best movement in the world on Mercy. If you, I don't know. I would recommend getting good movement on Mercy. And I think it's just helpful for survivability. Like, a lot of the good Mercies I play against now in top 500, what really sets them apart a lot of the time is their ability to just, like, be unkillable. Like, I play a lot of games against Mercies that will finish games with, like, 2 deaths. I'm not even joking. And, like, that's tough to do sometimes, and because when you're with a pocket a lot of the time, your pocket can also get you killed because of their positioning. So it's very interesting that I see that happen a lot. But yeah, a lot of really good Mercies I go against, I have like very low death counts. Not because they just run away when the opportunity arises. It's because like they just know how to escape out when a team fight is going, not the best, or when they're the target. Like, it's impossible to kill. So, yep. I like a little bit of a super jump there on that. So far, again, this has been clean. I don't have... This is an interesting one because I don't have a ton yet to really go with. Like, your movement's been solid. You're going around the map. You're giving target priority. Your Discord orbit. Yeah, where am I at this morning? You're damage boosting people consistently. You're healing when you need to. You're putting yourself in spots that are like... You're putting yourself in spots that are basically like not necessarily killable at the time. Obviously unlucky to get beat there, but you're gonna have valk in you know, a certain amount of percent, so as long as you play this safe. So, do you have a general understanding of the movement? I would pop valk here if you would. I don't actually. Yes, you can pop valk. Sorry, this is. It's so confusing. The kill feed confuses me sometimes. You don't even have to pop it now. Like, it looks like you lost the team fight, but that's because the kill feed up top is actually reversed. It should be the blue limbs should be the red limbs. I don't know. It's weird. So I get confused by that sometimes. Yeah, again, I don't have too much to go on here. Like, for example, that was your Orisa getting the kill. I wouldn't... Truthfully, I wouldn't chase the D.Va there. My take is let your D.Va have the 1v1. Your D.Va knows how to get out of that situation, and then go up here and help your team win the momentum. The D.Va behind you will be a problem in a little bit, but I think winning, like, the... Okay. We finally have something I can kind of really give you feedback on. Are you ready for this? If I'm playing D.Va and all I have to do is fly at you to get you to use valk, I will have so much fun. The point I'm trying to make here, do not just use your valk to get away from that D.Va. You have so much opportunity. There's nobody there, right? There's nobody there to deal with, like, let me rephrase this. Their team is not there, the D.Va. The only person who can kill you is the D.Va, right? Which means that all you need to do is fly into your teammates and you're fine, right? Like, they're just... Look at their team. Their team is nowhere to be seen because your team just got most of the kills. So the only person you have to worry about is a soldier over here at a weird angle that won't be able to kill you, and the D.Va behind you. There's no follow-up on this. So, like, just use this to survive to your teammates this way where you're going to be safe rather than valk away. So you end up, basically, wasting your valk right there for no reason. Just because a D.Va flew at you. Like I said, if I was playing D.Va and that's all I had to do, I'd be like, okay, perfect. I got valk out. That soldier has really good aim the entire game. Yeah, but that soldier, truthfully, you didn't even know that soldier existed in that spot until we went to that. You know what I mean? So, like, even if the soldier is hitting shots, you know, that was not why you popped that button, right? Obviously, soldier outside your team died. So, like, you know. Anyway, that was just a team fight loss. And again, I would have loved to see a more aggressive valk that wasn't based off of a D.Va flying at you. So that was, you know, one of your, like I said, yeah. That was, yeah, exactly. It's been pretty clean. Again, chat, whenever we say something's clean, it doesn't mean that it's going to be perfect. It just means that, like, I don't have to overanalyze every single possible play that happens because I just think that some of them just are normal Overwatch moments that they just happen sometimes. Yeah, so good job by your team here. Job. You got some of the movement down. One thing I always recommend on the Mercy movement, and again, I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm the best Mercy in the world by any means, but remember that the less floaty you get, the better. And what that means is sometimes Mercies will use the super jump a lot, but don't use the slingshot momentum after, and you just float in the air. I would not valk this. This is one of those team fights you're just gonna probably lose. And that's okay. Good job getting out. I mean, yeah. Numbers-wise here, damage boost. Good job with the damage boost. The valk is okay for now, but I do think they're going to have a lot to be able to deal with you. You can try to float in the air. There is a bit of a... Yeah, I was going to say. Yep. Yeah, it worked, didn't it? I thought so. No. I had the same idea, by the way. I mean, you don't even have to... I already know what's going to happen because I had the same idea. Good play. Listen, good job. Very, very good play. That's all I was saying, chat. I'm like, you know, you can just float in the air and hope they forget about you. And chat, they certainly forgot about the Mercy. That's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes it's happened before where you don't make much noise when you're floating, so you just kind of sit there and hope they forget about you because they assume you got out and then you just get the point. So Great play. It's funny. That's exactly what I was saying. I'm like, yeah, just float there. Good job. Let's go. But yeah, overall, another pretty clean half. Couple of mistakes here and there, but yeah.
Attackers incoming.
Maintaining damage
Objective A.
Let's get a groove on. Damage intensified.
Let's see. Go up top. I don't, okay. I've talked about positioning a little bit. I want you to be wary of being on the stairwell over there. I want you to think about like the safety of where you can be here. If they even push you back in these stairs, you're gonna fall over, just so you know. So I want you to mainly stay up top with your Torb rather than fly into your team, okay? And then that's gonna be the mistake that you're making there is like yes, you get out, but like if the idea is you want to keep improving and like get better at like all of that stuff, you can't just sit on that stairwell on the bottom left because a lot of the time you will just fall over there regardless of how good your movement is. You know, you get away with that, but you're not always going to get away with that play, and I think that play actually would go in favor of the other team more than that one. Of course, your team's had some really good moments thus far, so, but I do think that was a bit of a mistake. Again, it's setting you up for good habits. So, like, stay around here. Yep, dropping down is fine. You don't want to deal with a sim. Yes, here we go. Okay. Yeah, now you're getting a little bit lost. Okay, there you go. Remember to ping. Remember to ping. I think pinging is really important. Because you have. I remember to ping. Ping. So your team. You want to hit that ping button here because then your teammates will at least have an idea this is happening. Like if I'm up on the front line, I'll be real with you. Unless you're calling this, I'm probably not even recognizing that sim's there. Unless it gets pinged. Then I have a very clear-cut opportunity. I would not fly into the D.Va ult. Very interesting pathing there, but it works, so I was going to leave it at that. We're starting to see a little bit more of, like, your play style starting to get a little bit more aggressive and not in, like, a way that will generally benefit. All right. Yep, there it is. Yeah, this whole so this is the first time I've seen you not know what to do. You kind of like you weren't sure where to help at, so you kind of just bounced around 20 different ways. So you kept going like all over the place. So as I've talked about before, just try your best to settle in those situations. If you need like a very like generic blueprint, just go with your Soldier 76. You can't go wrong with that. I do know that you're on a Mercy Lucio comp, which is also very interesting to keep note of when I decide the rank. But like you can't bounce around so much is the best way to put it. In a situation like that, because you're just all over the place and eventually you get grinded down. Anyway. Yeah, so, and that's the point that, like, I think Meme is making here of, like, when there's 6 different fights happening, sometimes, like to give you an idea, if there's 6 different team fights happening and you just stick with your soldier and damage boost them, yes, you're not having your own individual 1v1, but you might be winning the rest of the team fight for your team. A damage boosted soldier on, like, that high ground when all that's happening at the choke will be 10 times more beneficial than getting everybody to 35% HP, right? Because you can't keep up with all the heals anyway, because you run a Mercy Lucio comp. So, like, eventually you have to decide, like, I just not going to be able to keep this up. So you go to the safer direction of keeping your, like, soldier damage boosted. And then your teammates can start to realize they need to back up. And then if they're in a much safer spot, you can heal them, right? It's a tough decision, of course, when you have all those individual 1v1s. But you can always help ruin those 1v1s with a good damage boost. So it's just, yeah, that's kind of how I see that. Anyway, let's continue.
Setting out the welcome mat.
Soldier behind you. I mean, that was a play. I can't believe the soldier ran in front of your team and killed you there, but I mean, hey. Yeah, let's see what happens. Well, I mean, you tried. Jelly, thank you for the 9 months of the tier 1. I am excited for tomorrow too. Nope. Nope, 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 nope.
Hype for tomorrow's spotlight.
I say it and then it works. So the reason why I didn't really like the idea of that ultimate at the time was because your teammates weren't there yet. So here's the positive. You got a bunch of ultimates out, and if your plan was to swap to Kiriko, that was the correct play. As in, like, I do like the Kiriko swap. If you're gonna swap heroes and you use an ultimate to get out of it, it works. I will say if you didn't plan on switching, then that's a little bit different, but it's just a numbers game at that point. It's a little bit different in 5v5 when you go for that, because like in 5v5 I might actually recommend that because I don't know, it's hard to say. I get what you're going for, but I probably wouldn't have done it until I knew there was a better opportunity for us to get to the point. Basically where I'm at. And it still almost worked. I mean, you did force out ultimates too, so that's a win. So that's also a win.
My gift to you. I feel all warm inside.
Orisa's being melted by that sim. Yep, Orisa can be melted by sim. Especially in 6v6 also, where that, you know, once that damage ramps up, it ramps up. Your team is starting to be all over. Man, this has been a tale of two halves, hasn't it?
We must hold the pain.
You struggled here with not knowing how to help? Okay, and this goes, okay, so like, this kind of goes back to what we were just talking about with being able to help or not, right? You just need to settle sometimes. Like, in Overwatch, sometimes you can't help everybody around the map. If everybody wants to go take an individual deathmatch, at a certain point, the player needs to be able to learn to self-sustain those individual deathmatches if they're going to be out of position to begin with, right? Like, that's just what has to happen. So the best thing that you can do is kind of just settle, and there's a little bit of opportunity here, right? Like, Kiriko, for example, is a pretty solid hero for doing damage. So, like, if you have all these fights breaking out, why run into their team and make it easier for their team to kill you when you can maybe kind of sit back and take advantage of some of these angles that your teammates are taking, right? But yeah, it's when your teammates are all taking deathmatch battles, it can be difficult to figure out what to do, right? On Mercy, I'm like, yeah, damage boost the soldier, right? Because now you're on that off angle and you're working with the soldier. But when you're on Kiriko, that play doesn't hit as hard because you have to overcommit a lot to get there and you have to survive the swift step. What I mean by that is you need to swift step them, survive the whole time when you don't have it, and then get back if you need to. So this goes back to what I was saying, just settle again. Like, go to an angle, go to, like, I don't know, but, you know, obviously, you know, before any of this happened, when you fell off the map, it would have been further back here. Like, why not be at this angle and start spamming this way, right? Why not go up somewhere crazy like here, and you can swift step out and, again, do damage? If you fly into their team or you teleport into their team like you did on Kiriko, you're just kind of asking to fall over, and that's what happened, right? Your team is getting snowballed. So this goes back to the less is more type of thing. Whenever you find yourself in a situation where you're just spinning in circles and you don't know what to do, something that I do sometimes, I call it getting stuck in the mud. It's the best option is just to settle. You just take a step back, let the game, just give it a second, and then everything kind of comes into play. But if you start just bouncing back, you know, going to this player, to that player, to this player, to that player, that's where things start to get a little bit weird, and then this is where you're at, so.
Soothing your wounds.
That was a very obvious shatter. So remember, you can react to that with a cleanse. Remember, you can cleanse when they go to shatter you. You cannot cleanse them off the ground when they shatter. You can like try to like help them survive, but it used to be that you would just cleanse the shatter and they would stand up. It doesn't work that way anymore. So what you do, you try to pre-cleanse the shatter when you see the animation. Okay. You have Kitsune coming up in 10%, so make sure to use that. You're playing too safe now. Remember what we talked about earlier on that quick play game? You know, obviously it wasn't a huge deal, but remember, stay at the pace of your team. Don't get caught in that, like, back and forth there. If you're worried about the cart, you can look up top and see the number up there. That is an Orisa out location. I don't know how that happened, but okay. All right, hey, it works. Everybody survived, so. This is just a reset. I think TP into your D.Va is the correct play. Yep. Right idea. If your diva actually got on the soldier, you might get the kill there, but I don't know if the diva knew that. This goes back to the ping system again. I really want to start to see you utilize that ping system. I know that teammates don't always listen to pings, but as somebody who literally sits there and always like looks for pings, that is something huge for me. So, you know, not everybody will follow up on it, but it's a good habit to get into. You can cleanse deval, yes, because it makes you invulnerable. What rank is this? That's the whole beauty of it. I will be guessing it. All right, now you're on Moira. Okay. I mean, it's still going to be better than the Mercy Lucio comp. For anybody wondering, Mercy Lucio just doesn't have a lot of high heal output, like when your teammate takes a lot of damage. So if your teammate takes a lot of poke damage over time, you eventually get grinded down. And that's what makes that comp struggle. Doesn't mean you can't win with it, just makes it struggle. All right, let's see how you do here. Playing Moira. Oh, drives is always wild. It's hit or miss. That's kind of on your Orisa's positioning, so I obviously, again, keep up with the pace of your team, but I think your Orisa just overpushed that, at least in my opinion. I don't mind you chasing the soldier here. I think it's, well, yeah, you made the right decision. Careful here. You've used so much resource. Good job getting resource back. One, the damage orb. I wanted the damage orb there because I felt like you just needed a little bit more resource there. And if you notice, the healing orb got you about, what, 4% ult charge? So it's just, sometimes the damage orb will be more effective here than it actually will be the healing orb. This is the healing orb spot if you survive this, right there, right? Because, like, you're all stacked together. But if you're not stacked together and you're going for one singular individual heal on that, you're just missing out on some opportunity. Okay. You just had a chance to win the whole game right there, and you just ran in a straight line at them. I want you to recognize this. The Moira ultimate has a very, 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 very long range, okay? So you do not need to fly at them. Stay back. Like in this situation, you don't have to go to the point. It's literally a 4v3, but with an ultimate from you. So if you just sit back, get the kill on the Mercy, don't die here, and you use your ultimate, guess what? They have no supports. You're going to win that team fight pretty easily as long as you don't die during it. The only way that you would have probably lost this team fight is if they killed the Moira. And guess what they did? They killed the Moira. So, that definitely a misplay. Remember, your range is long there. Even if you give a tick, it's okay. If you lose to one singular tick, then that is what it is. So instead of what looked like a free team fight win for you, turns into a team fight win for the other team, and now you're fighting on second point with no Moira. So, yep.
Stop the payload.
All right, you have beat. Also, remember Diva against Moira can eat orbs.
Come here for healing.
There are stairs to your right, and you have Fade. They're literally, you don't... Okay, listen. I'm all for like getting your teammates to go in line of sight of you, but like you can literally use your low cooldown Fade to go to the stairs. Where are the stairs? Right here. So you're right here. You just Fade. You're here, and then you walk up the stairs, and now you're with your teammates. There's See, that's what I'm saying. Like, you just go right here. You were right here, and you just go right here. And then there you are. And now you don't have to worry about that. You didn't know there were stairs there? Well, see? Welcome to Spectated. You learn something every time. All right, let's go back. When do drives end? I think they end tomorrow. Probably before Spotlight starts. Or around that time. Actually, I would have doubted if it's timed perfectly with Spotlight. Right idea here to run away. Nice try healing the soldier. It doesn't heal them, but I respect the efforts. This should be a team fight win. Too many ults on point for them to deal with. Yep. I think at least. I say that, but then we see that. Truthfully, Chad, I actually think this is going to be the correct play for now. It kind of sucks, but in these like team fights, you just need to win this grind. And they had a Valk, so it's a bit tough. Like maybe you could have went back and healed, but I think with the Juno ultimate and everything that was happening, I'm okay with the trades. That's just a tough one. They just had the ultimates to win that. Yeah. Yes, I know that. I know it gets confusing with the replay up top. It gets confusing for me too. Also, looks like one of your teammates might have left. I'm still also curious how you end up on Orisa at any point in this game, but
Cynics before.
Coalescence is almost ready.
Be nourished. That we should fail. No reason.
truth is that Moira ultimate was very make or break on that first point defense. I would. Oh, okay. I'm gonna be real with you. I have no idea how you got away with that. I'm gonna be real with you. Like, I have no problem with trying to Moira ult it, but just jumping into the team, holy crap. I mean, it worked. Listen, hey, you made up for the other one because I do got one thing to say though. You have a Moira ult problem. You have a Moira ult problem. So you got to stop running into their team. Play the range, please.
Initiate
All right.
match.
Yeah. The slam dunk Moira ults are going to be way less effective as you get better. But try not to slam into their team, okay? Even then, just to kind of give you a little bit of like, just like a way to play it here. And I get your mindset of this, right? In your mind, you're like, okay, listen. If I go to the cart, we can stop the cart here, right? And I'll pause this in a second here. Let me just like skip ahead a second here and see how your attack goes. Somehow you're on Orisa, which is funny.
Good news.
Okay.
Ready for battle.
So, like, just to like quickly talk about this very quickly, because I think there's a bit of an issue here that some players do. Are you ready for this? It's okay to give up the point there if you have the numbers to be able to win the team fight. Does that make sense? So, like, if you go, well, I just wanted to stop the checkpoint, it's okay to like just let them cap the point, but win the team fight right there. Right? Because you're going to need to win that last team fight anyway. And don't get me wrong, there's a percentage chance it could backfire later where like maybe, you know, you have a really close team fight and they spawn up, etc. and like you just miss out on that. But I think it's okay to be like, okay, we're going to let them cap the point, but we're going to win like 2 seconds later. Again, that play worked, but this is all about developing good habits, right? Bad plays are going to work. Good plays aren't sometimes, right? And you're going to do like bad plays or like questionable plays sometimes. I've been playing Overwatch for 10 years. I probably still have at least one questionable play a game. It happens, right? But the point I'm making is it's okay to let them win the team fight, clean up the win, not risk losing the team fight, and then just win the next one that you need to later on. Oh, I agree. It can be tempting to get a pick deep in overtime spawns, but that's also why it goes the other. It still kind of makes the point there. If you're deep in overtime spawns in that situation, that makes my mindset go, why would I force myself into a overtime spawn when I can just pop a Moira ultimate, do the exact same thing, and just play the odds that they won't spawn in time by the time that team fight is over because of those overtime spawns. You see what I mean? So that's why, like, while it's tempting, it's still going to benefit you if you just win the team fight because they won't spawn up in time even if they capture the point, right? If that team fight goes 15 to 20 seconds to begin with, that's a whole different problem that we're, you know, for a different day, right? So, anyway, let's keep going here, see what happens, and now you're on Orisa.
Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Don't be too reckless out there.
Basically, it comes down to I don't want to see Moira just running onto the point because the first time it didn't work, the second time it did, but like, you saw how inconsistent of a play that can be. Unless, of course, there is some communication otherwise. You don't play Orisa that much? Okay, that's fine. I mean, hey, it's all good. At least you're trying to go Orisa. You know, I get it. Only person player in the Torb turret. Obviously, a teammate. Just to make this clear, you realize it's a 5v6, right? I don't know what happened at some point, but... Oh, so I'm going to look at like some stat lines here before I...
Coming through.
Enemy turret ahead.
Okay, got it.
What's that?
This was a Quickplay Warrior Series game, yes. Yeah, you're just button mashing. But like you said, you don't really play tank much. Like, I'll be real with you. If you put me on a hero I don't normally play, I turn into like I'm playing a fighting game. I go real quick from all the knowledge in the world to a button masher. I'm like, ah, let's go, woohoo!
Every soldier needs a
So,
10 seconds.
I mean, nice try. I see what you're going for here. Good luck. I don't even know if you... Yeah, you can't make it, yeah. All right, well, obviously, unlucky there that you, unlucky there that you lost the game. I think the DC definitely didn't help. Overall, I do want to point out here, I think you played very well overall. I just think you need to really kind of clean up the running around in circles when you don't know what to do. Remember what I've been saying a lot in recent videos, less is more. So sometimes it means like you don't have to run all over the place. You don't have to go from target to target. So I just wanted to kind of give that kind of a thing for you on that one. So not a bad play on that one. Remember with Moira ultimates, please stop going into their team when you ult. You have such a huge range on that. Like giving them that type of a free kill just isn't worth it. Use that range on Moira ultimate. If you need to go into them to finish kills, that's different. Like finish like a couple of limbs if they run away. But like that first point play was like honestly the make or break this game. And real talk, like it's not that it should all be on you in that one. It's just you had a really easy opportunity to basically win that first point, and this game could at least at the very worst be a draw with that DC, right? Or maybe they don't even DC in time because the lobby just you get that first attack and it goes better. So really work on that side of things, and I think you'll be in a good spot. I think you're going to be able to climb if you choose to. Now it goes to the rank. I'm in a weird spot here because I'm going to assume that your rank is probably not where it should be aligned, I think. Because what I watched in this lobby was multiple things. I saw a lot of chaoticness that like makes me think that there's two options here, and I could be completely off. I still might just stick with my Plat 3. This could go gold. And I'm only saying that because of how it's being played overall. But I'm gonna stick with what I initially guessed, and I'm gonna go with Plat 3. It could be higher, but I think it's gonna be like Plat 3. So we'll see how it is, and we'll go from there. And the rank is Gold 5. Yep, there you go. Gold 5. But I didn't guess the rank, chat. But in my opinion, that's not gold. Your play is not gold, but this lobby definitely felt like it was a gold lobby. That's kind of why I explained that. Spoon, no, I definitely think if you were to continue playing ranked tier, I think you would climb. I have no problem with this guess of you being at least in plat. I think your decision making is actually pretty solid. Your positioning's there. I think you need a couple of things you need to fix, obviously, but I went off of this based off of what I saw in this lobby, and a lot of that chaoticness made me feel gold. So no, I think if you continue to play ranked and decided you want to, I think you can climb. If not, even through Quickplay, you've developed some good habits and you can continue those. So if you decide to, you got this. You absolutely got this. If you like the video, make sure to hit the like button. Leave a comment. All that helps. If you want to submit your own thing like this, my Discord's where to do that. And if you want to watch more of these, if you look on to the side over here, we're going to have a video pop up. This series has been fun, so if you want to check out more, make sure to click it. With that being said, hope you all have an amazing day/night.